A Ugandan court has sentenced a former commander in the notorious Lord's Resistance Army, or the LRA, to 40 years in prison following a landmark war crimes trial. Thomas Kwoyelo was found guilty of 44 charges, including murder, rape, kidnapping, and pillaging. He denied all charges that were brought against him. Kwoyelo is the first commander from the feared rebel group to be convicted by a Ugandan court. Here's a report.
These proceedings in Gulu, Uganda have been ongoing ever since the suspect, Thomas Kwoyelo, was captured and detained. But when he appeared at this hearing, the malnourished and frail person had vanished. Kwoyelo appeared to have gained some weight and even looked different. Kwoyelo was a mid-level commander in the notorious Lord's Resistance Army rebel group. He was convicted of dozens of war crimes in August, the first time an officer of his seniority had been tried by Uganda's judiciary.
For all these counts and offences that he has now been found guilty, that he has now been sentenced on, it is deemed that the sentence of 40 years, which was meted out to him on the charges of murder, properly reflects the overall criminality of Thomas Kwoyelo.
The insurgents carried out horrific acts of cruelty, including rapes, abductions, hacking of victims' limbs and lips, and using crude instruments to bludgeon people to death. Kwoyelo avoided the death sentence because he was recruited by the LRA at a young age, was not one of the top-ranking commanders, and has expressed remorse and willingness to reconcile with the victims. Kwoyelo had denied the charges during the trial.
We feel the sentences are illegal. But those questions of illegality or not illegality, or they are proper, those are questions of law which will be addressed in the court of law.
The International Crimes Division of the court in August found Thomas Kwoyelo guilty of 44 charges, including murder, rape, enslavement, torture, and kidnapping. Kwoyelo's case represents the first time Uganda's judiciary has tried a high-ranking LRA member. The LRA, founded in the late 1980s, waged a nearly two-decade insurgency against the Ugandan government from bases in the country's north. Led by Joseph Kony, the group terrorized civilians as it battled government forces. The rebel organization sought to overthrow the government and establish a regime based on its interpretation of biblical commandments.
We were happy about the conviction. Now that the appeal is being made again, this one triggers our temperature again. We shall not be happy to hear the court going again on. We thought he would accept, then after serving the sentence, he would go back home, and then we perform the traditional rituals in terms of reconciliation.
Splintered elements of the group, including Kony, are believed to still live in those areas, although attacks are now infrequent. The Ugandan military captured Kwoyelo in 2009 in northeastern Congo, and his case crept through the Ugandan court system until he was convicted in August. The International Criminal Court issued an arrest warrant against Kony in 2005, making him the court's longest-standing fugitive. The LRA's original aim was to create a state based on Kony's interpretation of the Ten Commandments. Africa Bureau, WION World is One.
For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.